Hey everyone, Jamie Lewis here, and I've put together this new training to teach you 7 steps to 7 figures launching your own digital product or service. And I'm going to show you first how I was able to launch my Beats and Instrumentals website, Beats 365, and numerous other 7-figure products and services, which resulted in over $15 million generated online since. I'm also going to show you exactly how I mostly did it without paid advertising and without necessarily having to put together a course. And in the last year alone, I launched 10 new services and digital products, sometimes doing $143,000 in sales the first week, and up to $300,000 in a month consistently, while getting initiated into marketplace VIP programs again and again and again every year. Now, a lot of people aren't used to seeing someone launch a different virtual service as frequently as every 2 weeks and still having the time to chill with fam. So I've had a ton of people asking me, what is the secret to how I do launches so frequently? So that is what inspired me to provide you with this tell-all free training today and teach you step by step how to launch a service or product quicker and bigger your first week than you're probably used to seeing before. And I'm going to show you how I did it without paid advertising or putting together a course or spending a lot of money to do it. And although I love satirizing the guru stereotype with my money here, this is pretty much the opposite of most of the teach people to teach people to teach people pyramids that you're probably sick to death of seeing. And if you stay with me to the end of this webinar, I'm going to give you a free digital product and advertising campaign that you can launch quickly and it'll run on its own. My goal today is to give you the full outline of a very unique model that is the result of over 15 years of consistent problem solving and testing. And although I am going to show you how to launch a product or service, I'm also going to teach you methods that you can apply in other areas like online advertising, starting up a consultancy, agency, outsourcing, and then they can be used with ridiculously simple business models like selling photos, drawings, books, diagrams, MP3s, and other digital products. So if you're looking for a very clever model on how to launch an amazing quality product or service that your customers will love you for, without necessarily having to spend a ton of time or money in order to do so, this training will be right up your alley. The instruction is top notch, every second bringing you concentrated education with all the super valuable nuggets of gold mine information. I am live in the questions box so I can see all of your questions and I'll be able to answer them at the end. So definitely go ahead and let me know where you're from, and if you have any questions or concerns, and I'll make them a priority. And if for some reason I can't get to your question, then send me an email at support@launchcreator.com and I will get back to you within 24 hours, I promise. So before I open the doors to the gold mine, I'm going to give you the outline of the webinar so you'll know what you're getting into. This webinar is going to be about 58 minutes long, and that's about the amount of time of a corporate lunch break. I feel totally confident that in that 58 minutes you will learn more than all of the other webinars and courses that you've seen lately combined. It'll be action-packed, so make sure to take notes. For the first couple minutes, I'm going to first give you a quick background and why I choose the launch model rather than other business models for a few different reasons. And then for about 20 minutes or so, I'll be giving you 7 steps on how to launch a product or service out of nowhere and then do 6 and even 7 figures in sales in a very short amount of time. I'm going to give you the meat and potatoes, including secrets that companies and individuals offer me thousands of dollars to get their hands on, rather than pitching you and selling you the whole time like other webinars you might have attended. And definitely remember to stay glued to the screen, because step number 6 is how I'm able to launch without spending months developing a product, and step number 7 is how I do 6 and even 7-figure launches without spending money on paid traffic. And although at this point, after the 7 steps, you'll probably be so excited you'll want to start implementing them right away, we're going to actually launch together. And I'm going to give you my entire recipe of what you need to launch your unique business tonight. After that, for the last 15 minutes, I'm going to tackle some awesome questions and give you some very insightful, honest answers. Okay, so without further hesitation, let's commence this training immediately and get started. All right, so first off, it's important that you know that I started out as a music producer who built my first website to sell my beats, otherwise known as musical compositions. And since then, I've sold over $15 million in sales of my own digital products and services, launched over 40 products and services in over 20 different niches, as well as affiliate commissions selling other people's products. In addition to that, I have a few different YouTube channels, one with over 40,000 subscribers and 17 million views, over 50 music videos, and sold over $500,000 of domain names, and I have taken on the role of being the experimental guinea pig of the entire online business community. In 2011, due to heavy demand, I began to publish my content on how I was able to build this multi-million-dollar business selling my beats and then music lessons. My first internet marketing service was called I Am With Jamie, and it was a slam dunk. This put me in the top 1% of ClickBank, and I'm not talking about just one product or release making it to #1 on a marketplace, but numerous #1 hits on multiple marketplaces, as it wasn't out of the ordinary to see 2, 3, or even 4 products in the top 10 of a major category on the ClickBank marketplace at one time throughout my 15 years doing this. At one point, I even got a martini shaker from ClickBank in the mail with my name on it. I got plaques, I was Google certified, and my story published all over the internet. So all I'm saying is I would feel selfish not to release this inside scoop and make it public for people who are dying to know how. Now, I know my individual numbers are extraordinary, so it's important to note that a more realistic average for a digital product advertiser is anywhere from $1,000 to $20,000 a month. But I think you would agree, right, that I'm speaking about individuals that are starting from scratch, and they don't have a mentor supplying the templates, shortcuts, what to do, what not to do, or somebody leading the way. So that's why I created this training session you are watching right now, as well as my paid program, to help people launch. Now, before we jump into my 7 steps, it's Mythbuster time. Call it the ultimate excuse killer, if you will, and let me elaborate on 3 popular myths that I have a big problem with, and for these reasons. Number 1, it takes money to make money. Absolutely not. I was living in an apartment with hardly any money when I first got started. In fact, my girlfriend was paying the rent. Facebook ads at this time didn't even exist. And to this day, all of this revenue I'm showing you does not come from paid advertising. When you're just starting out, right, you have a clear path to success. And these myths, like taking money to make money and the rich just getting richer, just clouds your visibility like you're an airline pilot flying through a storm. There is nothing like the growth of someone just starting out. Now, I don't know if envy is the right word, but sometimes I wish I was in your shoes for a couple reasons. First off, I didn't have someone giving me the inside scoop like this. I'm going to save you a lot of time so that you don't spend your money and time on pseudo technology and being sent on detours all over the place, right? And when you're just starting out, you don't have a lot of loose ends and partners that you worked with 5 years ago who need a password or help with something. Lucky for me, 15 years ago, the internet was a lot less populated. I mean, we didn't even have YouTube, so I was forced to go at it alone without constantly being sold something. I can put myself in your shoes. You're probably thinking that you need a lot of that pseudo technology for you to have success. And the number 2 myth, you need to be an expert. Now, I will be the first person to tell you that you need to be honest, transparent, genuine, and absolutely not a fake. But I teach people with MBAs and professionals in my classes. Meanwhile, I dropped out of college and started off making music for sale out of an apartment. So in a few minutes, one of my secrets is how you can deliver an amazing product or service that your customers will continue to buy from you and love you for it, leveraging what you already have and without a degree or certification. I learned this the hard way when I was first starting out, saying that, hey, I'm an expert and I worked 2 years on my product does not mean anything to people, which I will explain more in depth in a few minutes. What matters is that you are solving people's problems and you can get them results by any means necessary, no matter how. If your service or software or digital product delivers better results than your competition, you are in the money. The number 3 myth that I would really like to tackle right now, people say that, you know what, it's too competitive, I can't get into it. With my model, your competition is your friend, literally. And also, let's be honest, your competition does not have what I am about to show you. They are sent on a wild goose chase by pseudo gurus with information that, in my opinion, is a bit misleading. And therefore, you can clear out a path to launch fast, which is what I do. But I really mean it. You'll find that online competition is a lot more friendly than traditional competition in a brick and mortar real world ecosystem. Now, I hope that myth busting was a breath of fresh air, but now comes the good part where I will elaborate. Without further hesitation, here are the 7 steps. Step 1 is to have an incredible product or service, the highest quality possible, and an offer that your customer cannot refuse. For instance, if college was only $1,000, not $50,000 and 4 years of your life wasted. Now, I totally understand that my products, especially Launch Creator, are top notch. To copy exactly what I do with my editing skills and 15 years of knowledge think might be a daunting task. But I don't expect anyone to be able to do this on their first run, but still have amazing success. For example, I've seen my students take an idea I had and turn around, and in 1 hour they had a service uploading videos to people's YouTube accounts for $500 a piece, coming in one after the other. It was a great service, and they were able to advertise for free, and it was easy to fulfill. Now, I'm going to give you great examples like this, but keep in mind, this was my very first lesson in this, and although it does make a lot of sense, I've learned a lot since. When I first came up with the idea to sell my beats I was making and sell them online, I looked at my competition, and I have to say it was a bit intimidating. Now, my lack of knowledge in business was actually the reason that I stumbled across this secret and ultimately my success. The format that we were all selling was an MP3, otherwise known as an audio file. Yep, some people sell ebooks, membership sites. Well, mine was a collection of MP3s. My competition, they were selling MP3s too. And they were selling each one for $30 to $50 each. If you liked what you heard, you'd purchase the MP3 or beat, and then singers and rappers would use it. But I couldn't tell how they were processing payments. So I went online and I looked for a payment processor, right? So I could process payments. And I found ClickBank first rather than PayPal. Now, I signed up for ClickBank and then started to advertise like my competition was doing using Google AdWords, and nothing happened. A week later, still nothing. I felt like a big fat failure. But then I saw a few ClickBank rock stars with the big earnings screenshots, like $3,000 in a day, and I was like, all right, to heck with it, I'm not giving up. And I went back into my ClickBank account, and in a final act of desperation, I made it $30 for all of my beats, and then I went to sleep that night and I woke up in the morning, checked my ClickBank account, and to my surprise, there was a sale. I didn't even start advertising with Google AdWords yet. But then there were like these car auction sites that sold database access, which made me feel like I worked way too hard on creating all these beats. And according to their affiliate offer pages, they were doing $5,000 a day, selling access to a database that listed police stations and government auctions. True story. So I took their idea, and instead of makes and models of cars, I offered genres of beats with like the same format and the same teaser and everything. My site then really took off, and the conversion was better than the auction sites because I was in a smaller niche. So before you knew it, everyone on the internet started talking about how my site was the best deal ever for beats. You did a search for hip hop beats on Google, I was all over the page. All these affiliates were promoting my website. It was as if everyone thought that I was this clumsy business person and didn't know my own value. But little did they know there were 100,000 or so people a year all over the world that needed what I had to sell. And at $30 a membership, you can do the math. I still to this day don't understand why the other beat makers did not change their model to mine, but I was getting 1,000 hits a day and sometimes would sell $130 memberships a day. Like where I'm giving everything away as if I'm going out of business. Everything must go, and it really works. And for the next 15 years, this model worked every time. We're talking digital products and services, so if you give such incredible value, it makes conversion much easier, and new customers are turning 18 and getting a credit card every day. I have used this model with everything I do. If the competition sells one file for $30, I'll sell that file for 30 cents, except 100 of them. Same price, but better and more value. My competition hated me. They still do. The number 2 step is decide your platform. You'll need a certain platform depending on the product or service you're launching. ClickBank handles digital products, JVZoo is great if you have services, Amazon is of course the place for physical products, and iStock Photo is great for intellectual property like photos, illustrations, and stock footage that you want to put up for sale. You can also make your ClickBank product a hybrid of a service and a product in order to get it approved for sale, which I go into detail in my paid program, as well as cross-promoting between different marketplaces and using one marketplace to help boost your rankings on another. But all in all, riding a marketplace to #1 seller is one of the most exhilarating experiences ever, where you feel like a rock star, like the Billboard charts for music, except much easier to dominate. When I first started teaching this stuff in 2011, that year ClickBank processed just over $2 billion, and being #1 multiple times that year was pretty exciting, and I really felt accomplished. Now, let me talk about what I call different species of offers. Beats 365 was actually a database. Yes, you can put together a database of resources, links, or files that would take a user a lot of time on their own to search for and access, so for an affordable price, it converts better even without a video, sales letter, sales copy, or webinar. Crypto Prophecy was actually a control panel, which started off as an Excel file, but then we hired a programmer off a freelancer to plug it into a CoinMarketCap running off of their API. This is technically the category of a software, but a lot easier than you'd imagine. Now, there's a ton of creative solutions in the paid launch creator program if you're interested in getting your hands on done-for-you blueprints when it comes to what will be your product. But that's the main gist. Sometimes your product is a lot easier to put together than you would think. Step number 3 is your niche. Now, you might not be the product creator yourself, so you can enjoy your free time like a boss, which I will explain much more in detail in secret number 6. But one of my biggest mistakes I ever made was that I fumbled around in niches I had no idea about. It's like a magical chemical reaction or a wormhole shortcut through space to get into the niche that you really know a lot about. You will know what your traffic and customers are wanting, needing, and hungry for, and you'll know how to make certain slight adjustments to make your brand really explode this way. Now, I've worked in over 20 niches throughout my 15 years online doing this, but very familiar with hundreds of niches and verticals because I have worked with students that are in everything from golf swing, train a parrot to talk, piano lessons, and tons of other really big hits. Before I really got into teaching sub-niches of internet marketing that I knew a ton about, like video arbitrage, crypto, domaining, how to start an agency, and many others, I personally had launched every possible music lessons niche known to man. That is what I really knew about, as I had musical parents. And then I knew a lot about relationships, so I started to release a ton of dating books. I also would leverage the talent when I saw it, so the rule applies if you aren't necessarily an expert of something. But you know someone who is, like my son's football coach. We split the profits 50-50, and he supplied the football coaching lessons. I don't play violin, so my father produced violin lessons for me to launch for us. It took me a few years to figure out how I could do this. I don't know if it was because I was a slow learner at first, but once I figured this out, I had a lot of internet real estate bringing in consistent income from many different niches, as you can imagine. But I really do recommend to spend your time on one niche in the beginning, as I did, as there is an epidemic of niche jumping going on, and all I can say is don't worry, you'll be able to do many different niches, but only once you really saturate the market with spin-offs and similar sub-niche groups first. So number 4 is more like a little known myth buster in itself. That for the first 5 years I did this, I did not know what email marketing was. And I was able to get my net revenue up to $250,000 a year without a list. And it's not just because I didn't know what email marketing was back then. Sometimes you don't even want to have an opt-in form on your site. See, in secret number 7, I will use an example that is much more recent than when I first got started. And you'll see a list has nothing to do with a launch that nets up to 7 figures in the first week. The way I see it, lists are built from launching. Your following will follow your launch, not the other way around. See, there is this general misconception that you need a social media following or an email list to do big things online, and that can't be farther from the truth. I'll give you another example. In 2013, when I was doing well over 7 figures, for around 18 months, we used an autoresponder company for our lists that went under and their deliverability went out the window. All that time, our leads were automatically added, and then when they went under, we had to effectively start over from scratch. 2014, the next year, was one of my best years, literally starting over. Crazy, right? And step number 5 is conversion. Does your product or service sell, or is it a dud? First off, the basics. Say if 100 people visit your page and 10 people buy, that's a 10% conversion, or 1 out of 10. A very realistic and healthy conversion is around 4%, or in other words, 1 out of 25 people who visit your site purchase what you're selling. When 300,000 targeted people visit your site, 1 out of 25 is pretty exciting. We saw overall conversion rates like this with my launches like DigiBiz Pro, for instance. This is really good. Heck, that's why it did $1 million in the first week. Same thing with this webinar that you're watching right now. And getting great numbers like this really depends on the demand, your unique selling proposition, the order of which you present your elements, your pricing, and your value. And those are the elements you need to be conscious of when making sure you're going to convert. But it gets much easier. Now, I'm going to tell you how to create a sales page, but remember, some niches do not require it. Like with Beats 365, there was no sales page, no sales video, no webinar, and the product was a database. Now, if you're selling a course on how you lost 100 pounds, you probably will want to have one. So this is how you would organize your sales page. You would use this order of elements, and we call it AIDA. Attention comes first, then interest, then desire, then action, in chronological order. So, step 1, you need to grab your reader or viewer's attention. Step 2, you need to relate with the viewer or reader and explain the problem. Step 3 is where you come up with the solution. And step 4 is the call to action, where you present that offer that your viewer or reader will probably not want to refuse. Think of it like we're trying to find a planet that has life on it. A planet, in order to have life, has to be at the right distance from its star, the right composition, and at just the right angle to have the potential to support life, right? Your online business has to be thought of in the same way. First off, hopefully you got your niche right and there was strong demand for the solution you were proposing to solve problems with. Then it has to have the right value to price ratio compared to what your potential customer has seen from your competition prior to seeing your offer. You can't just be a copycat either. You need to be unique, different, and breaking the norm. Beats 365 was so successful because I made the value more than the price. It's like being a Robin Hood. Now, sure, my competitors were better beat makers than me, but when there's hundreds of beats to choose from, the chances someone will like at least one of them, which was the same price as my competitors, was pretty good. And because of this, there was no sales funnel needed. I since then was able to develop a conversion calculator where if you adjust the price according to what is included and how it is presented, it shows you your conversion ratio. Now, the sixth step is leverage. From 2004 to 2008, I brought in about $250,000 a year from my digital products and services, and then in 2009, a friend of mine, Lou, who was also in the industry, he told me we should do a launch. I had no idea what he meant, but I was open-minded. He told me I would need to create a done-for-you website service and told me I had 3.5 weeks to prepare. He approached me about it because he saw how many niche sites I was making and I was perfect for the job. I asked him, what are you gonna be doing? And he said, don't worry about it. And he created a sales page promoting done-for-you sites. He priced it at $1,000 for 10 websites and $497 for 2. Effectively, they'd be sites I already had in my arsenal, but installed on our server for clients with their own custom domain name and plugged into Lou's affiliate tracking system. Long story short, 3 weeks later, sales began to pour in, and day one, we did over $200,000 in sales. The next day, it was the same thing. The phone was ringing constantly, and I was scrambling around hiring people to help. By the end of the week, we had done an average of around $175,000 a day for 7 days and hit 1 million in less than a week. He was ready to go another week, but I felt like I was not going to be able to handle all the volume, so I fought him to close the doors and sell out. The next day after I sold out the service and closed it up, my doorbell rang. I answered it and there was a guy at the door who was upset at me that he couldn't buy the service. Yes, the demand was there. Now, 2 weeks later, all the sites were up and running for clients, as I had hired 8 new people on my team, as had one of them build a panel where we could keep track of who was fulfilled and who was not. This was my first ever launch, my first time hiring people, and my first time seeing how powerful this model was, and thought I could do it all again on my own. So now that I had all this money all of a sudden, I spent about 6 months full-time creating an amazing product called Wealth in a Box. I had my course manufactured by a company called Disc Makers, and then scheduled my launch the same way my friend had done. He told me all he did was contact a bunch of heavy hitters in the industry and tell them about the big $500 commissions and how it was going to convert amazing for them. So I did the same thing, and day one of my launch, I had the same amount of traffic from the same people, but I only sold one. Yes, one box for $1,000. Now, if I had made the box more of a service or a system where my customers could resell it, that would have been a different story. And so that's what I did afterwards for the 2.0 launch of Wealth in a Box a few months later. And then I did around $400,000 in sales in a week. Other product creators and super affiliates will say they travel all over the world, mess around on jet skis all day, and have water fights with Cristal champagne and have freedom to spend time with their family. But in reality, they work constantly and have zero time because they simply are not leveraging their workload correctly. Sure, in the beginning, I had to do everything myself because I did not have the knowledge on how to give up a little percentage for free outsourcing, the templates, the blueprint, and the knowledge to book the right deals and set up things the way you should as a 7-figure earner. I am able to do 6-figure launches every 2 weeks, have tons of happy customers, and a flourishing business because of one special secret: I leverage it. If I do a service, I absolutely outsource help using templates and diagrams to contractors to help me fulfill the service. If I do a digital product, I find an expert who can do great content, and I give that expert or developer a percentage of the sales. In August of 2018, I partnered with my girl Susie, who is a crypto enthusiast. And she did all the training videos, VSLs, and direction with programmers who also got a percentage of sales, and I took home 50%. All I did was advertise the affiliate program and do daily updates to my Facebook as to who was winning the contest. This launched at $143,000 the first week, and then $250,000 by the end of the month, and Susie could not believe it. Now, why would she partner with me if she created all the content? Because I had all the marketing knowledge and the simple secret that if you in effect create a money generator, the affiliates will come and they'll distribute it for you. Now, the 7th step is the most final and amazing secret: free traffic. As I was explaining with my first site, Beats 365, I put it on a marketplace where my competition, they just plugged it into PayPal without any affiliates or connection to a community that brought the traffic to you. The success of Beats 365 and all of my other businesses would have only been possible with the help from a marketplace. You might have heard that advertising and traffic is the biggest expense for digital product producers and advertisers. And it kind of seems that way because they want to be able to sell you on it. Now, I'm not totally against paid advertising, but you might be surprised what most of my Facebook ads have promoted until now. I usually create paid ads to promote my affiliate program. Same thing with my personal Facebook page. Most of the $15 million I have made online did not come from me spending money on advertising. It came from affiliates driving the traffic for commission. The commissions are automatically credited to the referring affiliate, and I never have to risk spending more than I make. Other people, I believe, play a very dangerous game buying paid traffic. I have others send the traffic, so in reality, I'm also leveraging the advertising and can relax without worrying that I'll be spending more than I make. All right, so there you have it. So now comes the good part. We are going to launch together, and I'm going to give you the entire recipe of what you will physically need to launch your business tonight. And remember, just a few more minutes, and at the end, I will give you your own digital product and advertising campaign for you to launch. But first, let's do a quick review, and you can learn about why I've segmented this webinar presentation in this way. First off, if you remember, I introduced myself in the beginning and I told you about what you were in for. I wanted to be totally transparent with you as people appreciate honesty. So when you're doing business yourself online, remember why you're still here. I was totally honest and unrestricted in sharing real life insider information about my 7-figure businesses. Next up, I shared with you my qualifications and that I am an authority in online business with real URLs, accolades, and proof that I am who I say I am, and my students get real results with a very high ratio of success with most of them. And then I tackled some false popular beliefs that keep most people from being confident in achieving their dreams. Then I went through the 7 steps to launching your product or service rockstar style. So let's move on, and I hope you got a lot out of the 7 steps and took notes, as these are real examples showing that most profitable endeavors come from, number 1, a service, database, or software, not necessarily a product or course. Number 2, free traffic. And number 3, giving more value than your price. Now, I have to say I love YouTube and I love Facebook, and so I do go into depth on how to have a flourishing YouTube channel and Facebook page in my paid course, as well as how to run an effective Facebook ads campaign and how to build digital products and courses. But the proof is in the pudding. My best advice is don't let these false popular beliefs stop you or intimidate you from doing a 6 or even 7-figure launch if I could just get ready for my first one in just 3 weeks. If your service is competitive enough and you tell 10 or 20 super affiliates you'll be paying out tons of commissions, it's very much possible that you're that exoplanet ready to start supporting life. So those are my 7 steps, and remember, this is after 15 years of experience to know for sure. If I have an hour to tell you how it's done, those are the steps to making 6 and even 7 figures the first week launching digital products and services. And in the up and coming Q&A, I'll be talking about one of the biggest secrets to making sure that your business continues and grows even bigger rather than falling off of the face of the earth right afterwards. And I hope you guys really got amped, supercharged, and ready to go, as this is a real alternative to what else is out there in the vast world of online business. Now, if it weren't for my friend Lou, who showed me how to do my launch, I'm not so sure I would be where I am today. What I want to do is walk you through step by step and help you build your offer, schedule your event, and launch. Give you all of the ingredients and recipes. But if you want to go at it alone without getting into Launch Creator, I wish you the best of luck, and that rhyming was totally unintentional. But having a mentor is like having a car, so you don't have to ride your bike everywhere. So how about I show you the entire blueprint and what you will need in order to start launching. Now that you got the entire outline, here's what I'm going to give you in the paid Launch Creator program, which is presented in step-by-step order from start to finish, including an optimal marriage of software, blueprints, and over 50 videos covering the 6 stages of launching your own offer. The setup, the platform, building, testing, launching, and going evergreen. First off, number 1 in the setup section, you can choose from over 100 unique proven business models from over 80 niches contained in our lists. All with accommodating video instruction right there programming you to be a boss. And then we will cover how to assess your demand, competition, and pricing with help from my conversion calculators. Then after you find your business model and what you're capable of delivering, you'll know your price and you'll know what platform you are going to launch on. That brings us to the next section. What venue are you going to launch on? In the music business, we call this what genre the music store are you going to be found? Then next up, we're gonna start building. I'm gonna walk you through my branding school where you'll be able to learn and also be able to ethically steal my brand word ideas and come up with an irresistible brand and domain name. And of course, my accommodating videos will walk you entirely through the process. Next, you can access over 200 done-for-you offers, complete with custom copy and fully editable. Yes, you can input any domain name and it will install the site on said domain name. You can also download the templates and start flipping them for a few hundred a piece as well as an alternative income source. Next, for writing hot headlines and sales copy, it's like color by number, where you will access my copy templates and fill in the blanks to ensure high conversions. If you want to go the service route and get paid first, fulfill after, I include a plethora of solutions and go-to resource links for help in my outsourcing suite after your first orders come in. If you want to put together a digital product, you can copy my exact recipes, layouts, delivery methods, thank you pages, and funnels. If you're a visual person and already doing YouTube or Facebook Lives and you love recording with your iPhone or camera, I'm going to show you how to turn that camera into a powerful tool for internet income. Show you how to come up with killer hybrid angles, plots, and edit the heck out of it fast. Launch Creator includes a video instruction on how to create a VSL, otherwise known as a video sales letter, how to create a webinar, how to create a video ad, and my most favorite formats. And remember, you'll also have my attention-grabbing headlines, sale copy templates, sales swipes, ad headlines, my VSL template, and my awesome call to action angles. I am fully confident that you will feel like you learned more with me than your entire college experience. Once your offer is built, I'm going to show you how to bring on beta testers that will give you input regarding any weak aspects to your product or service, give you testimonials when they get results, which will help you convert like crazy. I'm going to show you all of my 15 years of split testing results and some really cool things I've found over the years that you'll probably be shocked to find out. Heck, I used to even split test domain names, rotating the same amount of traffic to each and see which ones had the highest click-through rate. So this section is really about sharing with you my split test results so you don't have to go at it yourself, or at least you get a really good head start. We usually do a ton of split testing the few hours of a launch, rotating traffic evenly to 4 different video versions. Once we pick a winner that has the higher CTR than all the others, we lock that win in, we call it the control, and then we test out 4 different headlines. Doing this means the difference between a 6-figure launch and a 7-figure launch in the end. And then it's time for the actual launch. We're going to go over the JV page and how it should be actually one of the first things that you have ready to announce to get affiliates on board to send the traffic without you paying anything up front like paid ad models. I'm then going to show you how to announce your impending launch on the affiliate boards like Muncheye, JV Notify Pro, and of course Facebook. As I was saying, I love to send paid traffic at my affiliate pages. It does not cost a lot at all to get a few new affiliates on your offers, probably the same amount of money that you spend on McDonald's. You're going to know how to run a sales contest, release leaderboards, and know what to do when you encounter frequently asked questions from affiliates. And then after the launch is a wrap, what happens next? Add more zeros. We're going to turn your 5-figure earnings into 6 figures, your 6-figure earnings into 7 figures. increasing altitude and amplitude while paying customers spread the word because they love your product or service, bringing you even more paid customers. You're going to learn how to keep your customers happy for years as I explain 15 years of experience building an adoring fan base with my customer service blueprint that has been perfected over the years. You'll also learn about both good and bad so you can adopt what has worked for me and avoid mistakes I made so you don't have to make them too. I'm going to show you how I maintained a 2% refund rate on my music products and under a 5% refund for crypto prophecy, which is unheard of in that niche. And then how to use social media buzz to your advantage. I'm also going to show you how to take the money that you've made with your launch and reinvest it correctly into different traffic sources and internet real estate. Internet real estate like expired domain names, purchasing YouTube accounts and other social media accounts, and how to do that, and which types of businesses and websites for purchase that make good investments, and how to think about investments without getting caught up in the fear of missing out, or the opposite, the fear of uncertainty, which causes you to buy or sell something at the wrong time. Cryptocurrency investing is a great example. You finally have the ability to make a good investment after your launch worked out extremely well, but you want to get in too fast when the boat has already left the dock. Therefore, my best advice is to be patient and wait until a big selling spree that has resulted in a great buying price. You buy Bitcoin only when it's at that all-time low, and then convert your Bitcoin into more volatile altcoins once momentum starts to pick up again. And then we're going to get into paid traffic, and I'm going to show you inside of my AdWords accounts and Facebook Ads Manager where you'll learn how to set up effective ads. You're gonna learn how to position yourself so that Facebook and Google love you and they give you huge discounts for advertising with them. And then you're gonna learn what to expect with certain settings and what not to do, which can result in your costs skyrocketing and then avoid you eventually getting banned. We don't want that, and it's easy to prevent. And you're also going to learn which demographics work for which niches and business models, what interests work for which niches, how to install your tracking pixel, how to analyze data, and how to create lookalike audiences. I'm also going to show you an amazing trick with my YouTube ads to catapult any YouTube video into the top 10 rankings for any niche. And although other courses and consultants make it sound like rocket science to justify their astronomical $3,000 to $10,000 prices, I assure you that the way I simplify it and teach it makes it easy enough for an 11-year-old to understand it. And heck, aside from launching, people will pay you to have you set up their ad accounts for an alternative income source. But you'll probably decline their business as you're having so much success with your launches, which are 10 times more lucrative than running an ad agency. Now at this point, I do a massive troubleshooting assessment and document where if you're implementing my blueprints and running into snags, my diagnosis techniques are a result of years and years of experience and foolproof. After 15 years of doing this, I can say confidently that in my first 4 to 5 years, I might have been very passionate and successful, but I did not have the wisdom or hadn't learned important lessons yet. And so now after 15 years, I am able to provide you with specific solutions to your individual challenges in my live weekly webinar. This is where we meet once a week on GoToWebinar, and you can ask me as many questions as you like and I will answer them. Other 8-figure online business authorities and gurus charge $10,000 to $100,000 for actual interaction. And people pay it because they want that shortcut to get where they need to go faster and without getting stuck. But a lot of the time they've only worked in one business model, and you will have to adapt that business model in order to succeed. In this part of the course, you'll hear from actual students of mine and how they launch their products and services to the tune of 6 and even 7 figures in their first week. Matthew Sabia says,
as you guys know, Mr. Jamie Lewis is kind of like the godfather of launching digital products on sites like ClickBank. I definitely have the credentials to back this up. Using Jamie's training, like you guys are going to get access to, and his personal mentorship, which you're also going to get a taste of inside of the private Facebook group. I went from being over $50,000 in credit card debt to making over 7 figures a year selling these type of digital products.
See, Matthew Sabia started out with me and was able to hit 6 figures his first year and now reaching 7 figures. And he speaks about it in the members area and how he was able to do it from home. He has a membership site and a YouTube channel with tens of thousands of subs in his first year. George Navis says he's been online since 1997, longer than most. And he can tell you with all sincerity that Jamie Lewis is one of the true authorities out there. While others just talk the talk, Jamie walks the walk. Justin Atlin from ClickBank University, he says,
I've kind of grown with Jamie and through all of his products, and I've learned from him. I bought some of his products from him. I've talked to him, and basically he's one of the best guys that does product launches regularly online.
Lance Groom started out in my class and now does six-figure launches in the domain niche frequently as well. Matthew Neer is another student of mine that does 7 figures a year. And you're going to definitely want to hear from Susie, aka Crypto Girl's side of the story, about how she did $143,000 with me as an expert. She knew about crypto when we partnered up, but she knew nothing about marketing, so she'll take you from zero to hero and all the details along the way. Since opening, I have over 250 students that have already joined Launch Creator, and as I was saying, your competitor is your friend. Through our private Facebook group, you can meet other students and recruit affiliates for your launches. Power in numbers is huge. This is such a valuable component of Launch Creator because if you need help, guidance, or a business partner, you can try asking in the Facebook group, and since we have so many members already, you're probably going to get a quick answer and opinion even before I get there. All in all, I consider the paid Launch Creator program to be the ultimate in online business education as a whole, and I have so much confidence in it that we have a 30-day money-back guarantee. This is my whole philosophy. I was only given 3.5 weeks notice of my first launch and did $1 million in the first week. So if you can't at least make your investment back within 30 days, or are not finding the time to utilize Launch Creator, then you're definitely gonna need money to get at it yourself. But in that 30 days, if you implement what you learn in the course and use my resources, calculators, and templates, I'm entirely confident that you will see amazing results. See, consider me your virtual tour guide through the unregulated world of online business. The internet has given us a huge opportunity to connect with potentially billions of people, and now is your time to do so. And it is not only my opinion, but the opinions of thousands of people who are a testament to my work educating people in online business. Cherry picking only the most realistic and streamlined practices to launching a big business in the fastest, easiest way. Holding your hand and you being given well-organized, step-by-step leadership. I want to also give you coupons for advertising to recruit affiliates, as well as various coupons to help you save money if you decide to use the technology that I use. And if you would like to purchase any of my past courses, I can give you a further discount of 50% off. All right, so let's talk about pricing. You will see similar programs and courses out there priced anywhere from $2,997 on up to $10,000, and the business models are so complicated that a very small percentage of users get real results or even learn anything at all. And I feel without a doubt that my program has much better, wiser information and is more straight to the point, but at the same time leaving no stone unturned with the most in-depth, finite detail out of all of the other programs online combined. Students have stated that just one of my videos on how to create a VSL is worth $5,000 just for that video. Now there are 50 videos, 5 calculators, live webinar training with yours truly, and a community of affiliates inside Launch Creator. It is, however, important for us to make sure that this is a program and community for only the most serious people and not catering to those who cannot afford it or shouldn't be spending their last dollars. We also want to make sure that if you would like to resell Launch Creator, we have calibrated it to convert at a price which will give you good sized commissions. Again, my competition sells courses that are not anywhere near that level and caliber of training, software, and resources for $3,000 to $10,000, so I want to make it affordable and not out of reach for people who have great potential. So the correct price for such a program is $19.97, and that's my maximum target. But have you heard of introductory pricing? Okay, so when a program or product is introduced to the market, users and testimonials are very valuable to the growth of said program. This is what I was explaining before. We want as many people in right now because our community will grow even stronger, so I will be pricing it for a limited time at $997, which is half of my target. And for the people who have stuck with me through this entire webinar, I will be offering a further 20% discount, and that means that you can join Launch Creator for just $797. So in just a few seconds, I'm gonna open up the offer, and all I need you to do is click on the button. It'll take you to the page where you can get Launch Creator for the special price of $797. So here is everything you're going to be getting in the Launch Creator program today. You're gonna get the Launch Creator video course, the Launch Creator composition templates, site builder and editing software with over 200 site templates, weekly webinars with me live, direct access to me to answer your questions, the Launch Creator Facebook group, the Launch Creator affiliate program and resources, the Launch Creator directory, the conversion calculators, the business model lists, and a ton of coupons for advertising and software. All for the special price of $797. After you click on the button and you order, you'll become a member and you'll be in our members area. And you can register for the Facebook group, the live webinar meetings, and then jump into the program with the videos and resources and schedule your first launch. So, the first question, how do I get paid? Typically, you're going to be paid through companies like ClickBank, PayPal, Stripe, and various affiliate programs. These are the companies that regularly pay me, and they process the payments when you're doing a launch or when you're promoting someone's product. New question. How much money do I need in addition to buying the course? Domains cost $12 from GoDaddy, so you'll probably need $12 for your first domain. We will host that domain for you through the Launch Creator paid program. An autoresponder will cost you around $50 a month. This is to broadcast to the leads after you do your first launch, promoting other services of yours or promoting other products in your niche or network for commission. I personally take home 50% of the gross sales as affiliates get paid 50% commission automatically through the retailer or marketplace that I'm using. My biggest expense is my customer service and programming assistance, so hired help is my biggest overhead expense, but again, if I wasn't making money, I wouldn't be paying money. I do host my videos on Wistia, which is $240, but for your first launch, if you're using video, you can host them on YouTube for free. I run GoToWebinar to do my webinars for you guys since 2011, and that's around $349 a month. My dedicated server to host all of your sites is around $450 a month. Now again, I have a dozen services and over 40 of my own products, so my overhead is a lot more than yours will be for the first few years. I've got 15 years of customers I need to take really good care of, over 100,000 customers. And then here's a good question. Once I buy, what happens? Once you click on the button, you're gonna end up on the checkout page. You put in your info, and you register for Launch Creator and you purchase Launch Creator, you're going to end up in the members area. There are no upsells, you're getting the whole shebang, everything that I've explained in this webinar. You're gonna get immediate access to the online members area, and you're gonna be able to register for the Facebook group, get into the program, and launch your first site. Next question, how fast can I get paid? I love this one. It really does depend on what business model you're gonna get into. You can get paid as fast as tonight with services, domaining, and a few other business models, but you're probably gonna have some work to do the next day and the next day to fulfill those sales, or you're gonna be doing something pretty quick and selling it for really cheap. Other business models where you're gonna make a bit more, like doing a high-ticket webinar like this, for instance, it'll probably take you a few months. So next question, how many hours a day do I need to dedicate to this? I would say if you get right down to it, find a short-term business model, bring home the bacon immediately, like a service or a software. That's step one. Now, while you're running that immediate business, start developing something to launch and schedule it while you're running your service. Now, I know someone in the JVZoo marketing software arena that does 7-figure launches from Nigeria, where he has access to internet only 1 hour a day. So during that hour, he deploys what he needs to do, contacting people, broadcasting from his autoresponder and social duties. Then for a few more hours, he develops and prepares material to deploy on the internet the next day. Okay, so more questions. What if I'm not fully satisfied with Launch Creator? So as I was saying, I have a 30-day money-back, no questions asked guarantee policy. So within any time during that 30 days, if you're not satisfied, you can get your money back. You're going to find the program everything that you need forever. No other programs needed. But if you're not fully satisfied with Launch Creator, let me know. It might have to do with how you're already invested in a business model that seems a little incompatible, right? Well, I've seen dogs and cats become friends before. Stuff I never would have ever believed possible. Niches becoming business models and business models becoming niches and all of that. In fact, the time we spend in the questions box together on a webinar can help you solve any specific problem you may have within 30 days But I have to admit, when you're on a webinar for 4 weeks with an experienced coach for a one-time fee, and then month after month, that's how I keep close to a 0% refund rate. But I'm obliged to get your money back within 30 days if you email me at support@launchcreator.com. No problem. Thank you very much for trying out my program. New question. Will I get a step-by-step instruction with Launch Creator? Absolutely. When you activate and build your sites with 3 clicks, you'll have a 9-step plan guiding you the entire way. As well as with all the other business models, like if you want to make some quick money while you're getting ready for your launch, you're also going to have the step-by-step instruction accommodating those business models. New question. Do you have customer service? And Jamie, are you available? Absolutely. My customer service team is ready and awaiting to help you with anything you need. And I am also available in the Facebook group and in the webinars. So I'll be seeing you all week. I still don't know what Launch Creator is. Launch Creator is my magnum opus, the ultimate in online business education and software for website and business creation, complete with every resource you need and live training with me. Call it a suite or a full program. It's basically like online college for business. Next question, can I partner with a friend and split the cost? This is actually a great idea for anyone who really wants to get in within the next 15 minutes. I would say try messaging someone right now who might want to partner up with you on a launch and see if they can help you get in if you can't afford it yourself. Or 3 people. There's a 1Password that all of you could use. Tell them you are in a way partnering with me, as we'll meet each other in the webinars and Facebook group. You'll get the entire program on video, the actual templates I use for extremely high conversion rates, and over $15 million sold online. How do I know my product or service will be a big hit? Now that's a great question. There's a technical way to assess if you are in a business model and or niche that is in demand by people who need it and can afford it, and a more natural manual way to assess the market demand for your brand. With my business model and niche lists, you are going to see demand levels next to each category. Yes, these levels are a direct result from all of my experience, not just from working in a lot of these niches myself, but also seeing my students working in them as well. We've got an amazing niche calculator that will show you your time commitments, potential monetization, whether strong, moderate, or light demand. But of course, the organic way to get a good idea, if people will want your service before you build it, is go on a Facebook group for the appropriate niche and ask everyone if they would possibly be interested in it if you built it and brought it to the table. Next question. How many launches have you done where you made 1 million in the first week? My first 7-figure launch was DigiBiz Pro in 2009. We did $1,200 $1,000 sales. That's around 1.2 million in gross sales. This was after doing over $1 million with Beats 365, but it was a smaller niche, so it took a few years to get to 1 million. I did Income Entourage, which was a website builder, in 2011. That did 1.5 million. Then I Am With Jamie I rolled out Evergreen and did over 1 million in the first year. After that, I launched numerous marketing, business, and development courses and services, then launched Domainer Elite, which did 900,000, yes, 100 grand short, but nevertheless, Domainer Elite is known as the #1 software for domaining. Then in 2018, I began releasing launch after launch with help from Launch Creator, starting with Crypto Prophecy and then Income League, Crypto Blueprint, Crypto Renegade, Profit Injector, Wealthy Agency, BankRamp, Profit 365, and Cash Grab. We're going to break through another million by August 2019, on top of all of the income that's coming in. Next question. I need technical help. Well, all I have to say is we are technical, so you don't have to be. That's right. We've done the dirty work so that you don't have to. Now, if you want to get technical, if you do want to just jump in and have a streamlined, done-for-you system, that's what I'm here for. And then here's another question. When are the webinars? Every Wednesday on the dot at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to meet for a few hours and I'll answer all your questions. I can unmute you in the questions box. We're going to be communicating via the questions box. You ask me, hey, like, check out my site. I'm going to check it out for you. I've been doing them since 2011. It's really a great time and everyone gets a lot out of it. I would have to say, with all these testimonials, all these people who've come to my webinars and my programs and done really well, usually they all had one thing in common, and they had come to the webinars. And then there's always pop-ups. For instance, there's always surprise webinars, as I love to get on there and teach. Next question, do I need followers or a list to get started? No. First off, everyone starts somewhere, and the best way to build a list really fast is by doing a launch. Remember, fresh leads are the best, and there's nothing like acquiring 10,000 new subscribers in a week from a launch. Yes, if you have a list to begin with, I'm going to show you how to use it to have an even bigger launch by allocating that resource towards working with potential super affiliates. But as I explained before, many of my best launches had occurred after I had been away from the industry on a vacation, in the lab producing an album, or on my honeymoon. My lists were older and less effective as an affiliate, but affiliates still supported my launch because of all of the key methods I implement. So next question. I'm a photographer. How would Launch Creator assist me with what I'm doing? I love this question because it takes me back to my intellectual property roots. I had a student on my webinar the other day, and he had stated that he was a starving artist, using his brother-in-law's computer, had limited resources, a full-time job, and no money to spend. We immediately took a trip to a free Photoshop site called Photopea, and I began to draw a cat with whiskers. After it started to look like a cat, I duplicated the drawing and created wallpaper. I showed my student how I could upload this drawing to iStock Photo, and people would buy a copy of it over and over again for $12, non-exclusively. Non-exclusively means people will buy copies of your intellectual property like photos of sunflowers, tires, barbecue sauce jars, drawings, and illustrations. So upload your photo to iStock Photo, and then 100, 500, 1,000 people can potentially purchase that same photo for download for use with their banners, sites, or whatever their needs are. Exclusive means you sell your artwork to one end buyer, and then that buyer owns the rights to it. So think $12 for a copy, $1,000 to $5,000 for the exclusive rights. Same thing with music, stock photos, and other formats. Next question, how many employees do you have? I technically have 0. I do have contractors though that work remotely from all over the world, and that's the actual correct technical term, especially when it comes to paying taxes. Some are paid a percentage of sales if it is a performance-based position, and I hire people for occasional jobs, but I keep a very simple low-cost model. Another example is when someone purchases a custom website from me, I start off the Gmail thread with the customer, and then my assistant, who is paid per hour through Freelancer, puts in an order with a graphics company, and then a copywriter who has worked for me since 2008. So the more custom website orders I get, the more my contractors get paid. I do have a customer service assistant and 3 standby customer service assistants in case there is a sudden influx of sales. But I have been able to streamline and create a system that minimizes the reasons why someone would need technical help. For instance, my live webinars and my Facebook group. But when someone does need assistance, I have it so locked down with the blueprint that it makes one person more effective in doing the job that it would take 4 people to do. Who are your mentors? I really have to give credit to my friend Lou, who showed me how to launch. And he also introduced me to the power of email marketing. I would say I was always a very solitary person who self-educated himself, but going through that experience with Lou was quite extraordinary. Other than that, I do have a lot of respect for a lot of the guys you probably have heard of, but I see a lot of the top guys as my friends or equals that I've grown with. Remember, a lot has happened in 15 years, and remember the days when a lot of the top gurus were not doing as well as I was and copied my style or templates. True story. Next question. What is the hardest part about launching? That's an awesome question, and I've got an even better definitive answer. The hardest part of launching is being able to estimate the time it'll take you to get ready and prepare because you have a deadline. Sure, you can do a soft launch and give birth to a 4-figure a week income stream as many other service providers and digital product creators achieve all the time. But if you really want that big bang and do 7 figures in the first week, you need to be good at scheduling your launch and then doing everything that you need to do at the right time. Be sure to watch my launch timeline video, which gives you an hour-to-hour milestone map, which you can simply follow like color by number and be ahead of the game. Next question, do you teach email marketing? Oh yeah. Since 2009, I've been a daily email marketer and mastered the art of engagement with your email list. We're going to go over which companies are best and why, how to set up your lists, follow-ups and sequences, and great ideas for follow-up sequences, when and what to broadcast, and how to clean your list, and much more. Again, as I was saying, you can put together what you're going to launch, and then connecting the opt-in box for your list can come after. Remember, your list begins to grow on launch day, not prior. Next question. Are you going to be giving us updates on how your future launches go? If you're a member of Launch Creator, you're going to get an inside look to every launch I do in the future. Now, something awesome that always happens is my members always give great feedback, and ask great questions, which inspired me to create more videos and resources to help answer those questions and come up with more solutions to challenges. And we'll also be adding more content to this course as well over time. When I launched Beats 365, I had 100 beats, then 6 months into it, had grown to about 250 beats inspired by the requests from my customers, and then ended up over 1,000 beats. With DigiBiz Pro, I had 10 niches to choose from, and then when I launched 2.0, I automatically upgraded my 1.0 members and had added 50 niches. Every launch I do is similar, as the feedback is too good to pass up. I plan on upgrading and adding tons of content as time goes on with Launch Creator, and invite you to suggest what would be super useful in addition to what is already contained in my program. So look, I hope the information in this webinar has really changed your life. I hope to see you in my webinars and in the Facebook group. After all, it's been really great hanging with you all, and that's about it, folks. Again, I thank you all for being here, but now we must get back to work and change the world once more. And also, remember to claim your digital product and advertising campaign. Email me at digibizprosupport@gmail.com. All right, so let's do this. Godspeed.